off by introducing you to the world of ocean recreation. Um, Many people are drawn into the vastness of the deep blue sea, and Daniel Duane of Underwater Ups and Downs describes his experience as 200 yards off the coast, using your flippers hundreds of feet underwater, waves crashing against the cliffs, tying your boogie board down to a heavy kelp stem, purging your mast, and vanishing into the deep blue sea. I think that's pretty exciting, and I've had the pleasure of actually experiencing that. First, I'm going to spear your minds and give you a little bit of knowledge on ocean mechanics. Secondly, I'm going to catch your attention by teaching you what you need to have in order to spearfish. And finally, we're going to take a hunter's point of view in order to know how to spearfish. Ocean mechanics. What you need to know. Tides, current, visibility, they're all detrimental because they talk about your safety. The science behind it, Griffith and Peltier from Polar Tides Climate Journal and James Rao from Natural History Journal both described tides and waves very similarly. It's a lunar and solar pull. It's really a gigantic tug of war between the two. As the sun and the moon get closer to the earth, they pull on one another, creating high tide and low tide. You can use this information because you don't want to use too much energy because you need to get back to home. You got to get back to home. Also, while this is happening, wind is blowing across the surface of the ocean. It's giving the ocean energy. And as that energy builds over distance and time, it gets closer to a shallow depth and the shoreline, causing waves. When you have these two forces affecting you, you want to be as safe as possible. So you want to be able to judge whether or not you should go out or whether or not you should stay in. That's where coming into knowing your limits. If you don't know your limits, how are you supposed to keep a really safe atmosphere? Randall Eldridge, Daniel Crest, and a man by the name of Lon Snyder, my dad, all can't stress enough on safety. You have to be safe. Without safety, you can get really hurt and you will not show up at home. You can be very, very, very disappointed when you shoot your friend and he's no longer your friend. Next, I want to inform you on what you need to spearfish. In order to spearfish, everybody knows you need something to shoot the fish with. You have to, or it's not spearfishing, it's just diving. And that's boring. So you need something to spear the fish with, a spear gun or a Hawaiian sling. Also, you need fish. If you go somewhere without fish, there's nothing to be proud about because you're not bringing anything home. Also, you have to have something that allows you to see. Goggles. You need something to breathe. Snorkel. Without two, you're really like a dead duck in the ocean. Also, I can't stress enough, fins. In order to catch a fish, you need to be as acclimated as possible. You need to be just as mobile. And anytime I ever tried to swim in the ocean without fins, I wound up not doing so well. So fins are a very good idea, along with a fishing license. Without a fishing license, you can get fined a lot of money, and you don't want that. You want to have a cheap, fun trip. How it works. Well, a spear gun is a gun. Pull the trigger, the spear goes. But what propels that trigger or that spear isn't fire, it's water. So you have to have some sort of propulsion that will really get the kick to it. So they're bands. They're really elastic. They're very hard to pull on, but they give you a lot of kick. The spear lays on the shaft of the gun, and it is connected by clips with the bands, and you have a safety. Keep the safety on while swimming because you don't want it randomly firing off into the ocean, especially when your buddies are falling from behind. I've actually seen somebody get shot with a spear gun because the safety wasn't on. Another weapon that you could also use is called a Hawaiian sling or a pole sling. It's about a 10-foot pole with a trident tip, and it's very sharp. It has a band on the end, and you grip the shaft and you pull the band to the middle. Your grip is what's gonna, when you let go of your grip, that's when the gun fires or the pole fires. I personally like the Hawaiian sling better because it's a lot more like, you have more distance. You only have a 6-foot reach with a gun. That gives you about 12. Lastly, I want to talk to you guys about how to spearfish. A hunter's point of view. If you're afraid to kill something, don't go spearfishing. It's as easy as swim, aim, shoot. You swim out into the ocean, you aim at a fish, making sure nobody's in the way, you pull the trigger, and you spear. It's that simple. Good fish, bad fish. This will help you out very much so. Good fish, calico bass. It is very fast, very small, but it tastes really good. Good fish, beach birch. Beach birch. It's native to California. It's very big on the sides, but it's very thin. Very easy to shoot, not very smart. You'll have a field day with that fish. Bad fish, California state fish. This fish will get you fined. $500. Not a good fish to shoot. And they know you can't shoot it. They will come up into your face and flaunt it. They have a mind of their own, and they know it. But other fish you have to take into consideration are sharks. When you do spearfish, when you shoot that fish, the blood does enter the water, and you have to take precaution. Olympic gold medalist Gary Jr. was asked in People magazine about his last trip fishing in Florida. He caught an 8-foot snapper. Thought he could get to the boat before the shark could get there. Started dragging the fish as he's swimming and was attacked by a shark. If a shark's near you and you have a fish, ditch the shark. Concluding, I would like to say one last quote from Surfer's motto. Live life, no regrets, be safe.